All right, y'all, New Breed family, we're back again. This is your boy Huck Reed, aka Big Bad, and we're back with another weekly gun talk. And today I got my man
Tapo.
in the house, and we're gonna start out with he's gonna let y'all know what got him into guns since he wasn't here last week, and just give y'all his little bit of his background, and we'll lead off into we'll talk a little bit about expensive versus budget firearms, and then we're probably going to go into new gun owners shopping for handguns, kind of some help with what you need to be looking for, and then if time permits, we're going to go into comp versus ported versus non-comp. So Tapo.
Well, what got me into guns, I grew up in the country. You know, a lot of people around when they hunted, you know, that's one of the biggest things to do. So all my family had guns. As a child, it started you out like with a little BB gun. Then you work your way up to your single sight shotgun, your 22 rifle. And, you know, I never got really into hunting, but I always loved shooting. I mean, I might have went hunting maybe 3-4 times, but it just wasn't for me. But I always had a love for shooting. Then I had my older brother and my cousins. They shot, but you know, my goal was always to say I'm just as good or better than them. You know, I always would want to be more competitive, you know, being that I was younger, you know, so I just stayed with shooting, something that never left me from when I was, say, 5 years old with the BB gun to now at my age now, just something that never left me, and I always had a love for it. And pretty much just stayed with it and just learned the different disciplines of shooting, and I always took an interest in it.
All right, y'all, we back, and we're going to talk about some expensive versus inexpensive firearms. And before we get into that, I want to plug out the Garden Armory, your friendly neighborhood gun shop, who are always looking out for the New Breed Gun Club. Come down here and spend your money with these guys. They really look out for us. Very friendly, very knowledgeable about firearms, and they will take care of you. They're very friendly with the New Breed Gun Club. So we're gonna get into this expensive versus inexpensive. I'm more of a budget. I'd rather buy a gun on a budget than versus just spending a bunch of money on something for the name. But in saying that, you know, sometimes you get a better quality gun as far as fit and finish, and sometimes you get a gun, you know, that's you're just paying for the name, in my opinion. Now, me and Tapo, we kind of go at it over this whole thing with expensive versus inexpensive. At the end of the day, we kind of think similar, but, you know, we just go around about it in a different way. And I'll let him explain his thoughts on that.
Yeah, well, when you look at guns, a lot of times, to me, you have three departments. You have inexpensive, mid-range, and high-end expensive guns. Actually, I don't shoot expensive guns. That's a misconcept. I don't shoot expensive guns. I shoot inexpensive or lower price. That doesn't have nothing to do with the quality, just dealing with the pricing in mid-range guns. Just because it's a gun that's on the low end of price or inexpensive doesn't mean always that the quality is bad. So I'm gonna give you the prices. Anything under $1,200 and less is an inexpensive gun. From $1,200 to $3,200, that's mid-range. When you get over $3,200 is when you get into your expensive guns. So I don't shoot nothing that's over $3,200. I'm under that, very much under that. So I'm not into the expensive guns. Would I like to be? Yes. Eventually one day, things get right, I probably will be. Sometimes I don't see the need, but again, it might be a need. But you know, that's the thing to look at. Then you have some guns that you might say inexpensive, but it's also cheap. You know, it's an inexpensive gun, but it's also cheap because of the cost and how it works and how it functions and things that might be with it. You know, that's to look at.
How it's put together.
Yeah, how it's put together.
And I'll agree to that. Some guns are very cheaply made, but then some guns are inexpensive or budget friendly, but very well put together, very good guns. One gun in particular that is a very good quality gun, but budget friendly. You get a lot of gun for your money. Is the TSUS brand. TSUS makes a great 1911 firearm that's budget friendly but very well put together, and just a phenomenal firearm. They're coming out with things like the Mag 9 DSs, the double stack 1911s. Those guns are great guns. They run just as good as some of your Staccatos and those higher end guns. And when we say higher end and budget friendly, I think that's to each individual's perception. To me, high end gun is anything over $1,200 or $1,500. And like you said, you're looking at it way up here. $2,000-3,000. It depends on your budget. Is where you look at high end versus cheap. Now, like he said, there's guns that when you get up to $2,000-3,000, you way out of my price range. I'm not spending that kind of money on hardly any gun. If I do, it's got to be something that I really, really, really want before I go up to above $2,000. I try to stay down under 1,000. I've creeped over 1,000 a few times, but like I said, there's got to be guns I really, really like when I spend that kind of money. But you can.
Two guns I got here is, this is my 10-folio. This is under $2,000 gun here. This with tax and everything, you still looking at just say before tax, you say you're looking at $1,600. It has the bull, no round in here. It's clear, as you can see.
And all these firearms have been cleared before we start this, but we'll make sure we safety checking for everybody.
It has the bull, it has the weight and stuff that I like. This will still be mid-range. This is, you might not say it's budget friendly, but what you getting for the money compared to other guns is a great gun. With it, and cannot knock it for it. This gun costs a little bit more than this gun costs. But what I'm getting for the money compared to other guns, I think is worth the money that it is. That's my opinion. This is what I like. I like a heavy gun. Now, I'm gonna tell you of a great gun that you could get around $500. That's a Glock. Very reliable. Stand the test of time.
And I agree with that.
Now, trigger, not the greatest trigger. I'm gonna give you another gun that you can get, range from $400 to about $900. That's real good guns that's still on your lower end, but makes great guns. It's Canon.
I agree with that one too.
And then you got the CZ over there. They make a lot of what you call budget friendly guns that start at $4 and around $400 to $800. That's real good guns also. It just depends on what you want. Like I say, if the gun is at a lower end and it's just price, that don't always means quality. But then you have some guns I would not recommend you buying, but they are pretty, they are cute. And people like them because they look a certain way, or, but it's not always the best gun for you to get, These are just two guns that I shoot, and mainly I shoot for fun. These are not guns that I carry, which I don't carry a gun, but these are guns I shoot for fun, that I like shooting, and when my wife shoot with me, even though it seems heavy, she end up love shooting them too, and she's not a normal regular shooter, but then I get her to go to the range with me, and she shoots these guns better than the smaller guns like the Glock, other gun, other guns like Smith Wesson SD, which there's other guns out there that we have at the house that she could shoot, but overall, the heavier guns that we shoot, she ended up like shooting them better. The overall is more comfortable. And for me, I shoot the guns that's more easier to shoot, so that's two of the guns you see. They're a lot easier to shoot. I mean, some people, they might say they're heavy, but they're great to shoot. And to me, actually, for what I do, these are budget-friendly guns compared to other guns. Somebody that he might argue the point, but compared to Atlas, compared to Cicada, compared to Affinity, Voodoo Armory,
Yeah,
a few other guns.
but those guns that you're talking about when you start talking about Atlas, Athena, and those guns are $4,000, $5,000 guns, which is, to me, those guns are insane pricing. But something like this CZ here, just a phenomenal firearm, very well put together, and CZ makes a great. And this orange is one of their best shooting firearms, and I'm gonna get one of these one day soon. But just a phenomenal firearm, the way it's put together. And like he said, with the weight of it, it's gonna help with the shootability of it. The weight's gonna help eat up the recoil, especially when you're shooting it out of a 9mm. With the longer slide, this is a 5-inch barrel on this one.
Yes, 5-inch barrel.
Which is gonna make it more accurate. You got a bull barrel on this bad boy, which is gonna help with the durability, being able to shoot it a little bit longer and then say some of the other firearms. But not only that, it just looks good. And the quality of this, is just phenomenal. The way they got this thing fit and finish on it. Low bore axis. And most firearms, when we're talking about low bore axis, the way the top of this slide, it sits down inside the frame. So you got more of the stuff down here. So your barrel and stuff is sitting lower into the framing of the gun versus, say like this CZ. So now you got a lot more top frame and it's sitting up high. So all your weight's sitting up high riding on the slide. And when you put your hand on the gun, you want to get as much meat of your hand on the bottom portion of this frame to control that recoil. With this gun, it gives you a little more frame, a little more control, and a little less slide at the top, so you can control this gun a lot better. With the added weight and everything, and then just having more access to, get more hand on this thing, you can control this gun. It's going to make it a lot easier to shoot with the weight. And this thing is almost like it's on rollers, as slick as it is. Just a phenomenal shoot. The only thing I don't like about this is irons only. I think in today's climate, where we are with firearms, everything should have an optic on it. And I know they make an optics ready version.
No. You use a bridge for it. When you turn it around, I'm gonna do it this way because I'm pointing at this wall. See right here?
Yeah.
You would take these screws out.
And put the bridge on,
You would put the bridge on and you'll set the optic on top.
Which I don't like.
You don't like?
Nah.
But your slide runs freely.
Yeah.
Same thing with this one. This is tapped on both sides right here, where you will mount your bridge over.
But I do know CZ makes a version of the shadows with a.
But it's not
optic.
shadow.
The CZ shadow, the one I like, the orange.
Yeah.
The CZ shadow orange.
Yeah, shadow orange. They make it one optical.
Optic ready.
But this is a tactical sport. This is single action only.
Right.
But for what you were saying though, compared to those other guns, this is a budget-friendly gun. Then.
Yeah. When you're talking to Atlas and
you talk to the Cicada and what was competing against. Now, if this is also, now mind you, this gun is empty. It's have a 2-pound trigger.
Out the box. Yeah.
And that's the reset right there. Back at that trigger again. So what you getting for the money, this is a budget-friendly gun for what you're getting out the box. when you look at it.
Depends on who budget you talking about.
Well, I'm not arguing what's in someone's pocket, but if you compare it to what you'll be competing against out of the box, if you had an out of the box Atlas or out of the box Cicada, and that would be what your XL or your LX, where you'll be competing with, which there's what it went from $2,800 to $3,800 now for that gun.
But say I'm more along the lines of, hey, let me buy $1,000 Mac, put another 200 into it.
Okay, do a breakdown on if you bought the Mac.
Right.
What's the first thing you're gonna do?
The first thing I'm gonna just shoot it, break it in good,
Okay.
and then I might change a few springs. I'll change out the recoil spring, which is a very cheap fix. I'll change out the mainspring and do a trigger job on it.
Okay.
And I'll take that gun from.
Wait a minute. Slow up. This come with 3 springs. So those other 2 springs, like I want to change the spring, I don't have to purchase them because.
Yeah, but you've already paid. You over what I'm gonna spend to do that.
All right, now you're gonna do the trigger job.
Yeah, I can do that myself.
How much is the trigger gonna cost you?
Nothing. You can make a trigger adjustment on a 2011.
You're gonna adjust the trigger yourself.
Yeah.
Is you gonna take out any other parts?
Now, just the mainspring. The mainspring is $6.
$6.
The recoil spring is $8.
$8.
And you put that in yourself. The trigger job you do yourself. That's just adjusting the sear spring and making a few adjustments. You can take that. It comes with a 4-pound duty trigger.
Mm-hmm.
You can drop that down to a 2.5 pounds, 3 pounds, and you can get it right along the lines of a staccato. To me, the difference between the Mac, the Tinfolio, and all these guns, they come with the 2-pound trigger. Like you said,
But this one doesn't have a 2-pound trigger.
Well, I'm saying your
orange do, yeah.
Orange.
Yeah, that comes.
Your Tinfolio, what weight is that trigger?
It's a little bit less than 4 ounce bullet.
So maybe 3-pound trigger.
Yeah. It's a little bit more than it's in between 3 and 4. Just say 3.5. Be safe.
Right. So, it's still lighter than say the Mac.
Yeah, it's lighter than the Mac.
So what I'm saying is, for just over $1,000, I can make that Mac run with the staccato, with the Tinfolio. You can get that gun to run with those guns, and you're still not even over $1,100-1,200.
Would you change the trigger body or keep the same trigger itself? Would you put a lot of times they got like a curve in the trigger, they put more of a straighter trigger in it. Would you do that?
No, the Mac comes with a straight trigger. Which I like straight triggers. The Mac comes with that. And the Mac, the new Macs, they come with 3 different trigger shoes.
Oh, okay.
So you get 3 different trigger shoes. They come with the upgraded slide release, the upgraded mag release. They come with the mag well. They come with everything that you want. And with guns like the Fusion Firearms, the XP Pro, that gun comes with extra springs. It don't come with extra trigger shoe, but that trigger, I want to say, is a little under 4 pounds.
And then the Macs also shoot the same mags as your STI.
Exact same magazine.
Same mag.
Yeah, but they sell them cheaper. Yeah, they all are made by Checkmate. So all those magazines pretty much are made by Checkmate.
Yeah.
And they just brand them different for people.
I'm asking questions. I'm not familiar with the Mac, so we ask the question. Now, is the bottom of the Mac polymer, steel, or aluminum?
It's polymer. So, and that's the worst thing. The worst thing about the Macs is the grip. The grip that they come with right now, the grip texture is horrible. It's real slick. That's the one complaint most people have about that firearm is the grip texture is bad. Versus, guns like this, they coming out the box with.
I mean, this can be better.
Right, it can be better. Right, right.
I'm not gonna say, hey, that's the best. No, I'm not gonna do that.
Right, but it's better than what's on the Mac.
Okay, because I am thinking about changing the grips on both of these.
Going with the lock grip.
Lock grip, a little more palm grip. Both of these feel full in your hand, so you can get a good purchase on them. But so I'm not knocking that, but something if I'm sweating, it just give me more grip. because it's not like something I'm carrying like it's a carry gun.
Right.
So it can be a lot more aggressive.
And to go back on when speaking of carry, you said earlier that you don't carry those guns.
No.
But what type of gun do you carry?
I don't actually carry a gun.
For real?
If I was going to carry a gun, Glock would be in it because it's more inexpensive. If I had to use it and the cops have it, I wouldn't be crying as much with my gun. But right now, it probably would be a P07 or a P09 CZ would be a carry gun. There's a few other guns I like to try out that might be smaller, but I'm not a person that's into small guns.
Me either. So I don't like carrying. Small guns are snappy.
Yeah, that thing's snappy, and that's one of the things that I guess we're gonna go segue into when people purchase guns.
Right.
They purchase guns off looks and small and light, think it's better, but it's really snappy. Versus, like I said, with my wife, when she shoot, not this one, but my green, when she first said it was heavy, but she started the love of shooting it, comparing it to other guns that I have. It was just more comfortable to shoot. It was less snappy for, get better return fire. And she was more accurate with it. It's just the complaint of being a heavy gun. But it's just more comfortable.
And I think that's the most new shooters. So I guess we're going to go ahead and segue into new shooter firearms. Uh-huh. Most new shooters make the bad judgment. They come in, they find a gun, they want something little, they want it, real light, and they don't understand that, that little small gun is going to be very snappy. When you're picking out a firearm, you don't want to go pick out the heaviest gun, but you want a gun with a little bit of weight on it. You want a gun that fits your hand good, and don't buy the smallest gun you can. That gun is going to be real snappy, but buy what you can get. But you want to look at something, you want to come in the gun shop, you want to grab that gun, make sure that gun feel good in your hand, it fits your hand real good. This gun right here, the CZ, is not that expensive, but you're getting a lot of gun, and this is a new gun. The guys here at Guardian let us borrow it to bring back and look at it. This gun, the grip texture, today was my first day grabbing this gun. I've been looking at it. But the grip texture on this thing is phenomenal. It feels good in your hand, great grip texture, feels real good, has a great trigger on it. This gun comes with a port. I mean, just a phenomenal firearm. And this is a gun that I would carry.
Turn it. Turn it. See the port. Yes. Yeah.
And that's the port right here. So it's ported, and what the port does, the port helps eliminate some of the recoil, the felt recoil that you're going to feel in your hand, because it's going to release some of that gas up. It's going to keep that barrel down, just make this gun a lot softer shooting, and just going to be a lot better. And this gun is just around 4 and some change. By the time you pay taxes, you may be right over 5. But just a great gun for the money. And this may be coming to the channel here soon.
You gonna tell them what the
it's
nickname
already optics ready.
You know what the nickname of it is, right?
What's the nickname?
The Glock Killer.
Every gun's the Glock Killer. Every gun is chasing Glock. Every gun is trying to be Glock. Glock is the king, but going into that, everybody's talking about Glock, but a lot of people don't understand the misconception of a Glock. A Glock is a duty grade gun. It comes with a duty trigger. And when I say duty trigger, some guns are made for you to have fun, shoot at the range. They're going to come with a little lighter trigger. They're made for you to have fun with at the range. A Glock is designed simply and solely is for you to go to war, go to battle, and that gun is going to function and work no matter what. Kind of like an AK. The Glock is the AK of striker firearms. That Glock can get dirt in it, trash in it. You can bury it under the ground. You pull it out, it's going to shoot. Some of these other guns, they can't make that claim. You get a little dirt in them, they're going to jam up. The trigger ain't going to pull. But a Glock with that heavy trigger, that's what it's designed to do. It's still going to eat. But this gun is phenomenal. If you want a great gun to just take to the range, you get something like this. And this is like I'm gonna call it a mid-tier firearm as far as pricing. And then you have more of a budget-friendly, and we're starting to go into the Taurus lineup. Still has a great grip. The texturing on this is not quite as good as on this one, but this gun is not ported, so no support on this. But this gun has a great trigger on it. This gun is actually better than some of the older Tauruses, so it don't have a lot of take up on it. That's my whole gripe with it.
Pull the trigger right quick. Right. This is where me and him, we was agreeing on everything until he made this point right here. That's a double action. Well, go ahead, pull the trigger.
That trigger.
Look at his hand shaking. We pulling.
Huh? Nah.
All right, do the reset on it.
So the reset is got a little bit more slack in it than I would like, but the trigger pull on this particular Taurus, this generation of Taurus, ain't bad. That you're right there on the wall, and that's all the take up you got.
And that's
the take up is right there.
That's a G3.
This is I think the G3. I'm not real familiar with Tauruses, but this is one of the new ones with the better trigger in it.
I see it.
The older Tauruses, the reason why I didn't like
that this Taurus is not the double action.
No.
This is a single action.
Single action.
Striker fire.
Yeah.
Now they make a Taurus which is a double action, which I would think this was the double action.
No, that's not a double action.
But this is the striker fire.
Right, striker fire.
Yeah.
They got the G2, the G2Cs.
Yeah.
Those guns have the trigger on those guns have a lot of take up on them. So you'll pull that gun and pull that trigger, and you'll be pulling.
Yeah, see, that's why I thought you was giving the best with that double action.
No.
So that's why for y'all know, that's why I was picking at it. I said, why should you pull that trigger? My son decided to buy a gun, and he bought the Taurus G2. This is a GX2. He bought the G2, and it got that double action trigger on it,
which I hate.
Well, we agree again.
Yeah, I hate those triggers.
We agree again with that. I don't like the trigger. I understand people's finances, and you got to get something, but sometimes you need to stop and look. Now, when it comes to me, when someone is about to buy a gun, I ask them questions. A lot of times I always shoot them to a Glock. It's because the way they answer the questions. I ask them, when you buy the gun, what you plan on doing? If they pause, I know they just buying a gun just to buy a gun. Or you plan on buying you 300 to 500 rounds to put it down range. When you pause, and they plan on buying that one box of 50, I just say buy a Glock. Because what they're going to do, they're going to buy the gun, look at it.
Not break it in.
Take it home, put it in the drawer, load it up in that box of bullets. And then when they go back and shoot is when somebody get together and have a conversation, and you ask them, can you shoot? Yeah, I can shoot. You take them out there to shoot. And what you say when they start missing?
Something wrong with this gun.
Something wrong with this gun.
Ain't nothing wrong with the gun. Something wrong with you. You ain't been training.
And that's the problem. So a lot of times I recommend Glocks. Now, if a person say, I want to shoot this and that, then we have a different conversation. And then you ask them, is it a gun that you're going to carry or just going to be a home gun? If it's going to be a home gun, I'm always recommend a full-size gun. It's always going to work better for you.
Like a Glock 17.
Glock 17.
The 22. And what full-size gun would you recommend other than the Glock 17?
Glock 7, the Glock P09, the Glock CZ P09.
Right.
SP 101. P01.
Right.
I recommend that one. Some Canics I recommend. It's a lot of guns. Beretta.
The Canik Rivals. The Rival series of the SFX series of the Canics, I think that's the name of them. They're full-size guns. They can be race guns. They can be competition guns, but those guns are, full-size guns that have good weight on, and they work real good.
But they have to be broke in.
Right, right.
You have to break them in.
Go ahead.
Yeah, he was dealing with the tourist, but it just brought to our attention the gun that he carried, and he's going to show it to you, and the pluses about it, and it being affordable.
Okay, so what I carry is the TSUS, the the PX 9 carry model. This gun is full of features. It comes with side straps, back straps to change the gun so you can fit your hand good. It comes optic ready, and it comes with a great trigger. So, and the Magwell adapter. So this is the gun in its truest form. They give you this magazine holster. This is one with an optic on it, and the grip texture on this thing is crazy. You can feel that that's kind of rubberized, texturized.
Oh, yeah.
So that greasy grip is crazy.
Yeah.
And this gun is under $400. You know, once you pay taxes, you might be right around $400. But it has a crazy good trigger on this gun. This gun, for the money, is a phenomenal carry option, and it's budget friendly and has just good of a trigger as this gun and some of these other guns that are $500 and $600.
Okay, before you put it down, if you had a choice between this gun and this gun, which one would you purchase?
I'm going with the TSUS all day long. This gun may save you $50, but you don't get what you get with this gun. So with this gun, you get an extra back straps, optics ready, holster, and just a lot more gun for the money.
Better trigger and better sights.
Yeah.
So there are guns you can get at a lower price that'll give you what you want. So just give that and throw it. So go around and do your research. You said we was about to close out.
Yeah, we got to close out. We got to get out of here. But we're going to come back. So the next time you see us, we're going to get into more of comp versus ported versus non-ported. We'll talk a little more about carry options, and then we'll probably get back into the inexpensive versus expensive.
We're going to have the argument. It's 2011. Which one you was talking about?
The Mac 9, the Springfield Prodigy. There's several options out there now.
And what we're going to do, we're going to meet up at the range. We're going to do that, and we also going to have the port, comp, and non, and see which one that we see we like better and what we choose. So keep looking ahead to see which one, because I got to win the argument.
Stay tuned, and we're going to be back at you. New Breed, we love you. New Breed for life.